Hello and welcome back to Team Rico's Off the Record, the show where we often talk about lemurs a little bit too much. We are another trifecta of hosts today with the whole Team Rico. We have Elijah behind the curtain. Thank you so much for sound engineering.
Hey, what's up? No problem.
Enrico James, my baby Enrico James, and we got Nico the engineer right here. Thank you to anybody that's taken the chance to watch us, subscribe, tell a friend, come out to be on the show. It always means a lot, and thank you so much to Hunter, Steam Enginist, for coming out. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you. You know, it's funny, you were, we talked about this earlier, you were like one of the first people that ever, like, not like bid to be on the show, but like put your link out on one of our Facebook posts.
Oh, yeah.
Philly DIY, that's like, like the only way I've been able to like book people is through that group. So you're based out of New Jersey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like South Jersey.
Okay.
Like bottom of Central Jersey, kind of.
Okay, so like not super crazy far.
No.
How's the scene? Is there a scene around there?
If there is, I'm not really a part of it. I don't know.
Fair enough. That's always how I feel about wherever
Even when
am.
I was like in the scene when I was younger, I was never like in it.
Always just kind of like around it.
I mean, the kind of music I make is not really the kind of music everybody makes there.
Yeah, you don't really hear a lot of like celestial like folk stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of, like in high school, it was like my high school was a lot of math rock and like hardcore.
That was just the time. Yeah.
So it was, and then I mean I was doing heavier stuff, and I still like heavier stuff, but I still even then when I was doing heavier stuff didn't fit in, and I still don't. So
fair enough.
It's hard to find a show that fits me, but like bill wise. But
do you have like a favorite show that you've ever played? Maybe one that just maybe best turnout, or one that you've had the most fun doing?
I don't know. I've played a lot of shows. I'm old, so I don't know. I don't know. The last show I did with my last band was fun because there was a lot of people there, and it was like everyone was wearing their shirts, and it was like.
Oh, cool! What was the name of that band?
That band was Shaking Trees.
Shaking Trees. I feel like I've heard that.
That was but that was the best thing that I think. James Murphy from LCD Sound System said the best thing LCD Sound System ever did. Like the biggest thing they ever did was break up, and that's what like my band was too. Like the biggest show we ever did was our last show.
It always seems that way. Yeah, you always watch like the last show on YouTube. It's always packed, and it's like, well, where were you like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, well, we needed you.
So brand new album. We have Lady of the Lake. It's a really great album. Had a chance to listen to it. Really cool video. Did you just need to shave? Were you just due for a haircut and just decided I'm just going to tape it and make it content? Or?
Both. I planned it from the beginning. So we started recording in July, like mid-July of 2020. Okay. No, 2021. 2021.
Okay.
And I said I wasn't going to shave or cut my hair until we finished. And I didn't realize it would take 11 months to finish it.
Oh, so that's what I was just...
So then it just kept going and going. And my wife really wanted me to cut it long before then. But I was like, no, I have to.
I have to wait.
I always said it wasn't a pleasure beard. It was an art beard. So I had to like...
It was for the art.
Yeah. And so it got to a point and then I finally did it. Mm-hmm. So it took a long time, but that was the plan.
Is that still the result, or are you keeping it just...
I was going bald anyway, so I was like, it was a last hurrah kind of thing.
We literally just talked about this on the last podcast. We have once we start going bald, we're all just going to go.
You just got to do it.
Just going to go.
Buzz cuts.
Is it like liberating kind of? Like, did you usually have your hair short, or is it
No, I would always do like... I would have my hair really long and then cut it short and then let it go really long. That was my vibe always. But now I look better now than I did the past couple of years of having hair because it just the receding hair thing and then it got thin.
Once
and
you
never
accept
looked
it,
good.
that's what once you just kind of like are like, all right, this is just gonna kind of happen. Like no
it
hair
got
is
to a
better
point.
than like
You're just
a little bit of hair.
Yeah,
don't want a Dr. Phil cut, unfortunately.
No.
So how long were you writing the album in that whole, or was that just recording for that?
That was just recording it.
How long were you like sitting on these songs for?
Just a year.
Oh wow.
I think there was a couple. Well, there was. So I had an album before that I recorded in like middle of 2020. It came out like fall of 2020, and then none of the songs were written. I started writing Lady of the Lake proper in fall of 2020.
Okay.
But there was a couple songs like Guinevere was supposed to be on the last album, but I changed it. And like Birdcage, that guitar riff had been around for like since like 2018, 2019. So
it's
that
always
one
like
stuck
the ones
around.
in like the pocket that you bring out every
Yeah,
now
and I knew that one was going to be a song at some point, but it just never was like
it wasn't ready. It would still need to ruminate a little bit.
So I was only sitting on it for a year before I started recording.
That's like really efficiently.
Yeah.
I wish I could write that efficiently. It takes me like a year to be like, yeah, I think the song's okay. Maybe we can put this out. But no, it's super wonderful. Where did you draw inspiration for this album?
Well, usually my work mostly is concept records. It's really what I like doing. So this one was particularly, I always wanted to do more. I really like Arthurian legends and fantasy novels. And
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at of it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was super
so I really
cool.
wanted to like zone in on that, and so I just had the concept in mind. It's a concept of like those stories of Lancelot and Guinevere and all that, but it's just mostly about my life, just like filtered through that.
Kind of like as a pawn for your life. You
Yeah,
wanna
it's
tell
just
the
like a
story.
framework essentially. So that's really what like the inspiration was just loving fantasy novels. And
What's your favorite fantasy novel?
I mean, Lord of the Rings is
Okay, well,
Nice.
fair enough.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Besides
That's-
Lord of the Rings, I mean, I've read Lord of the Rings many times. Besides Lord of the Rings, the Belgariad's a big series I love.
I've never heard that one.
That it's often overlooked and people don't talk about it really often because it was big in the 80s and then never really had another foothold. But I like Belgariad a lot. It's not too long. It's good. There's a song on the first album called Sinadra. That's the name of the princess in that. And actually, somebody messaged me. They also have that same name. Somebody,
Really?
yeah, her parents named her Sinadra after the book, and then she was looking her
Oh,
name
that's
up on
super
Spotify and
cool.
found my song. And
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. Hey, that's a good marketing tactic.
Yeah.
Just gotta find
Yeah.
that one name for when they search it.
that one fan, you know.
What you mentioned that you're old. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh, 20.
Oh,
stop.
yeah,
Oh,
not
stop.
old at all.
I'm not super old,
You're
but like
you are a young man.
I just played a show in like by Temple, and I felt like an old man because it was just like
I feel like an old man at like the ripe age of 23. I feel like I should like start like saving for my 401k.
yeah. Well, there's
Love
a
that guy.
point where you're playing like local shows and basement shows where you're just like I'm the oldest person here.
When did you start getting into music? Like just like interest in it?
Oh, I was always interested in it. Like
Okay.
since I was
Nice.
both my parents were pretty young comparatively.
Okay.
So and they were both really big into music. So I was always listening to music, and I started playing. My dad plays guitar, plays guitar
Okay.
really well, and I started like fiddling around with his guitar when I was like 9, 10.
Okay.
And then, but I got my guitar. I got just before my 11th birthday.
Has
So
he ever made an appearance on a Steam Enginist album?
my first guitar?
No, your dad. I was gonna ask.
Oh, my dad? No.
No.
Oh, fair enough.
You mentioned your parents both had music playing around the house a lot. Any albums come to mind that were playing very frequently?
Yeah, my dad is a huge Sabbath fan.
Nice.
Hey, right,
Oh, that's
we got
a
a
solid
couple up
choice.
there, right on.
Solid
My dad's
choice.
a huge Sabbath fan and a huge Donovan fan.
Ooh, I love
Okay.
Donovan. Like,
So like between those two things, my dad showed me a lot of metal and a lot of folk stuff, and my mom was really big into The Cure, Bauhaus.
oh, right, like
Like,
that 80s,
really, like goth and new wave and
love that new wave.
all that stuff.
So a nice mixture
yeah,
going on there.
so between all of that, it all kind of boiled down to whatever I do, I guess.
Beautiful. Yeah.
How old were you when you like first started writing music?
When I first started playing guitar, like 11, I was
Okay,
I
I
always
was
Wow.
just like
Right
went
off
right
the
into
rip.
it.
I mean, they weren't good, but
Usually aren't the
Okay.
first
as soon as
couple
I like
times
learned a couple
around.
chords, it was just
I'm just gonna do it.
yeah. That's why I always wanted to write. Like
Okay.
I always wanted to be creative. Like as a kid, I would just want to be an author. I want to be a painter. I want to do anything creative. So then, as soon as I wanted to play guitar. As soon as I started playing guitar, then I was like, oh, I can write. And
I can
play
write.
guitar.
Now I have a whole new outlet
Yeah.
to get what I'm feeling out.
I think that's why I always like veered towards concept records too, because it's like I like long form storytelling. So then combining the two in my brain makes it the happiest, I guess.
What's your favorite concept album other than your own?
But other than my own, there's some like and The Wall is amazing. I
Oh,
love
of
The Wall.
course, wonderful.
Sgt. Pepper and Melancholy by the Pumpkins. And
Oh, I never knew
Machine
that was a
Head.
concept album.
It's really loose. I mean, if you were to
Fair enough, but-
it's very loose. But I mean, every MCR album's pretty sick.
Oh, true. They are like some fantastic. Have you had a chance to see any of their live shows recently?
MCR, yeah,
Yeah,
I went to
really?
the second Newark show.
Oh, dude, how, was it nice?
It
a
was,
good
yeah, it was
show?
pretty good, yeah.
Dude, I have not gotten a chance to yet, and I'm always so jealous when people are like, "Yeah, man, I just got done seeing them." And
Yeah.
I was like, I always miss the chance.
Everybody went. You can't miss it. I saw Neutral Milk Hotel in 2014.
Shut the fuck up.
And everyone's like, no.
dude, Chris has his fucking jaw dropped. Where was that at?
I saw them at the Mann Center. I went. I was just out of high school, and I was like, I have to go to the show. They're never gonna play ever again.
I was about to
go
say
to the
we
show.
have not been able to find them any. Dude,
No.
I'm just about to hit up Jeff Mangum's personal
Wow.
email and be like,
yeah, he won't reply.
That's true. He won't, Jeff, please.
They're gonna they merge release that they're doing a big 25th release for Airplane. They have a big
really?
Neutral Milk release coming out the beginning half of 2023.
Oh, that's super cool.
So-
We're gonna have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Who knows?
Favorite Nutrimilk Hotel song?
Probably Engine.
Ooh, okay.
Engine or Bucket.
Ooh, those are like some like obscure ones.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm a huge
Nah,
huge
dude,
fan.
yeah. I like it's live on it's something Island. What was the island? What's that?
Avery Island.
Avery Island. That's such a good album.
Oh, it is a great album. It's very underrated.
No, yeah. Well, Reddit kind of.
Reddit loves Airplane, and it's true. Airplane's great, but Avery Island's great too.
Yeah, no, it's such a shame, and it's such a short discography. I could literally sit here and talk about Nutrimilk Hotel, and these boys have no idea what I'm talking
I'm
about.
so lost in the woods
There's
right
a bigger
now.
discography than you think, though. I mean, if you
A
go
lot
back
of
and
Jeff
listen,
Mangum's like personal
early
work.
stuff.
Love How You Love Me is really fantastic.
Yeah,
Chris turned me on to that one.
he doesn't want you to listen to it, rightfully so. It's like his personal demos, but like Hype City Soundtrack and Beauty, and those really early mixtapes are great.
You guys have to listen to Nutrimilk. It's honestly really good.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Honestly, like a lot of the bands we've had come in have been influenced by them, but just to move
Everybody, yeah, it's just.
It's crazy. Just so we don't make this a 3-hour podcast about the deep dive into Nutrimilk Hotel.
Another concept record too.
That is another. I'm just gonna release a video of us just having an extended conversation about it. When was your first release? As Steam Engine?
As Steam Engine was 2018.
Okay.
I was in another band called Shaking Trees, and I wrote a really long concept record that was like 30 songs, and it was a big thing, and my head was crazy, and I lost my mind. So then I just really wanted, I said, I'm going to release something on Friday. And
Just going to release
Tuesday.
something.
I'm going to write an EP and release it on Friday.
Dude, I could never. I
had one song in the bank done. I had another one that was demoed, and then I had another song that wasn't going to be meant to be released, and then I had 3 songs, so I did them. And then Thursday night, I wrote another one and did it and put it on, and then just released it Friday. Just because I hadn't released music in 3 years because I was working on this really long album.
And I was like, nah,
I need to do something. So I was I'll release it under a different name. It's my own thing. If it's bad, whatever.
I just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, and then it's become my thing now.
Where'd the name come from?
It was a joke.
Okay. I'm always
it's a joke. The best one. I always think it's really funny when people refer to inanimate objects, so pronouns, and they're always they're talking about a ship. They're like, oh yeah, she.
That's my baby. Oh, she's my baby.
So it was that idea of taking a steam engine,
and
then just adding like mistress or something, adding another S.
I love that.
So I just thought it was really because I think it's stupid. So I thought it was
fair enough. Yeah, it's just oh man, this car, man, she's my beauty.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's always female, right?
It's usually female.
Yeah. Weird.
We're getting into the deep dive subjects right now.
So there was that, and there was also I really wanted the first EP I was really I love Donovan and Jeff Mangum, so I really like children's music, but adult children's music
that quirkier style.
Yeah, so I wanted it to be I didn't want to call it Steamboat Willie because I didn't want to be Disney related at all.
But it's just innocent enough.
Yeah,
to still
and
be...
kind of old timey enough that it was kind of so it was just mostly a joke that only I thought was funny, then turned out to be my band name forever.
It works out.
That's cool though. I like the name.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. What have you been listening to recently?
The same stuff I always listen to.
Fair enough.
Daniel Johnston.
Oh,
Jeff
okay.
Mangum,
Daniel Johnston.
MCR, Pumpkins. All the Beatles. I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Love the Beatles. Favorite Beatles album? I know that's a hard one too.
That's a hard one. I was listening to a lot of Revolver recently because they just did the reissue.
Revolver is
but Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road. I always White Album's never my favorite. I always get a lot of flack for that.
I like it. Elijah, what's your favorite Beatles album?
It's gonna sound super cliche.
That's okay.
I really like the Abbey Road album.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's got Come Together on it, and I use that to tune all the speakers in my house.
That's fair. That's true.
Okay, fair enough. This guy with his speakers.
It's the best fucking mixed album or mixed track you'll ever hear, and I trust it to tune my speakers.
This guy, man, all these years later, they're still. What was the engineer's name?
Jeff Emmerich.
I think.
It was George Martin, right?
Yeah, George Martin. God bless George Martin. Still tuning speakers to this day.
Yeah. What's up? The fifth Beatle.
He really was the
amen.
fifth Beatle.
Yeah, he really was. I don't know about Preston. I don't know if Billy Preston was the fifth. He could have
Billy
been.
Preston was the fifth Beatle for
like
a year.
for performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, for performing. I don't know. The stuff with him was so good. Those were like some of the best.
His
keys.
contributions to Let It Be made it, and to Let It Be, not to Let It Be, to Come Together, and I Want You She's So Heavy. I mean, he put some good stuff on that.
So good.
I usually throw a couple curveballs,
That's fun.
a lot
Curveball
of
Nico.
food related things.
Food related, okay.
Yeah, so this was one we just did last podcast, but your favorite like guilty pleasure snack, like
You eat it with like home with the door closed. You want to see people. Want people seeing you eat that?
or just like your go-to.
I kind of eat everything openly. There's no guilty
Fair
pleasure.
enough.
Nice.
Right on. Power
Right
to the
on,
people.
I'm
yeah.
kind of no guilty pleasure with anything. You know, kind of like own everything, right? You just
Yeah.
kind of
Right on.
If it is, it's
like
you.
that
It's,
attitude.
I
Same
can
here.
get behind that.
I eat a lot of candy, and I try not to.
Really?
A lot of like
My
gummy
man.
worms and gummy bears.
Oh,
and
okay. So
gummies-
you're gummy.
gummies
I'm
are
a gummy
elite.
guy too.
Yeah.
I am a gummy guy.
Jelly
yeah, for,
beans.
like what is it like?
Ooh,
Jelly
jelly
Starburst?
beans,
Jelly
but they got to
beans.
be Jelly Bellies.
Oh, jelly. Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Can't be that off-brand jelly beans.
I just discovered I'm vegan, so
Oh, nice.
I just discovered the sweet chili Doritos. What are those?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Those don't have milk in them, so I just discovered those. Those are pretty good.
They're
Nice.
so good.
They are good.
I didn't know Doritos had milk in it.
Yeah,
Oh
everything,
yeah,
everything
the
has
cheese
milk.
powder.
The cheese
powder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair, you know, you look at a Dorito and you don't think cheese.
Yeah, but
So that might be
But-
the reason
yeah,
why. You know what blows my mind? Oreos are vegan.
they are vegan. Yeah.
Oh,
That-
good
that-
for you, Oreo.
I don't
that-
know what it is, but it's vegan somehow.
Well, you know, they say cream. That shit's not cream.
Uh,
It's not cream.
It's some kind of soy product, I'm sure.
Is it a so? I don't know.
Probably.
It's balling. It's really.
It's not
Controversial.
milk though.
Controversial opinion. Like the double stuffed, or like there's too much. They're too
I
much.
think they taste different.
They taste it. Well, yeah. Well, I guess if there's more cream, I guess.
But
it
if you take
overpowers it.
two singles and you put them together, it tastes different than if you buy a double stuff.
Fair enough. You know how many people like nobody like. I work at a fucking grocery store. I pick orders for a living. And everybody always gets the double stuff. It's not that good.
I don't do the double
You
stuff.
get less
the
Oreos.
perfect. It was the perfect blend.
Yeah.
Why fuck it up? Maybe
Is it
Oreo
true? Do you
thins.
get less because like it's the same package size,
Right,
right?
It's the same
Right,
size. It's the same
exactly.
size, same ounces.
It's a
but less
scam.
cookies.
Yeah.
And they
It's
make
crazy.
it taste worse.
And it's not even double stuffed. They don't spell double stuff correctly, so they
Oh,
don't
it's
have
like
to say
F-
it's double.
apostrophe D,
It's,
right?
It's S. Yeah. I think it's either with a D or stuff is like STUF. It's like cut off, but it's all those little corporate bullshit to get you to buy less cookies. Maybe for America's betterment, but fair enough. If you had an album that nobody else would think you would ever listen to, like what's like a
Oh,
crazy album that you would
I don't know. I'm kind of open about most of it. I love Sunset Rubdown and Wolf Parade. A lot of people don't know them, so
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm always trying to get like recommendations on here for people to listen to. So I guess this could be the question of if you had to recommend anybody, like an obscure album.
I love Sunset Rubdown. They're made to Spencer Krug. He's an amazing artist, and he's done so many different projects. Second Sunset Rubdown album, Shut Up, I'm Dreaming, is amazing all the way through. All three of their records are great. Every Wolf Parade record's great. Wolf Parade is a band. Spencer Krug is the keyboard singer. Then there's Dan Beckner, who plays guitar, and he was in Handsome Furs and Operators and Divine Fits. So it's like one band, then they all have offshoot projects. There's like 50
Oh, it's like
bands.
Millen.
Yeah.
Like, they had like 17 bands.
It's like
thing.
Manchester Orchestra and like Bad Books and Kevin Devine. It's like all those things that are connected. Like,
Really?
yeah.
I never knew that.
So it's like it's just one of those projects that are just there's a bunch of different bands associated with it.
Right on. I basically just use this podcast as like a personal music recommendation, just so I can just have people be like, so what should I listen to? What can we?
Do you remember the first piece of music you ever bought?
First I ever bought, I don't. It could be. I got Dookie on vinyl.
Hey,
at
right
like
on,
13. It could have been that. I mean, I'm sure I bought a CD before that. I remember the first CD I ever owned that was cool was, I think, for Christmas when I was 4, I got International Super Hits by Green Day.
Hey,
Nice, nice.
So that was big for me. I don't know. I had a lot of, and I chose a lot of, like I had Paranoid by Black Sabbath. I
Right
did a
on.
lot of that stuff, like just rebuying what my parents already owned, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's your copy now.
Yeah, it
you
is my
know?
copy.
I was always like that. I don't care if they have one. I want my own.
Yeah.
I do what I want with it.
Do you collect vinyl at all?
I do, yeah.
What's your favorite vinyl that you own?
Let's see, this is going to be weird stuff. So this might go into
Okay,
like
well, it's
the-
perfect.
This might go
that's-
into the stuff that people don't know I listen to. I had just bought a series of J.R.R. Tolkien reading Lord of the Rings on vinyl.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Did it come in like a big box? Like,
No, it's
chill-
like old 70s like floppy disk
Oh,
vinyl
wow.
that I got that off Discogs, you know.
Nice.
So that stuff then there's like the Hobbit soundtrack from the animated Hobbit.
Oh, with
1977.
Bashki, right?
Rankin Bass did
Rankin Bass?
Rankin Bass did the Hobbit and Return of the King. Then Ralph Bakshi did the Lord of the Rings
Really?
in '78.
I've never seen the Rankin Bass.
Yeah, Rankin Bass. That's
I've never seen like a ton of Rankin Bass stuff that wasn't like the Christmas, like Rudolph, Jack Frost
Yeah.
type stuff.
they did. The Hobbit movie's great. Return of the King's okay.
Okay, dude, I'm gonna have to check all these out. Thank you for all these amazing.
So I have the
recommendations.
soundtrack to the Hobbit on vinyl.
That's awesome. That's
I
super
have the
cool.
soundtrack to Robin Hood, the Disney Robin Hood. I listen to that a lot.
Ooh, nice.
We have our Babes in Toyland up there, so we
Oh, yeah.
love our. That's probably my favorite. I think it's my favorite.
But stuff like that is what inspired like the original steam engine and stuff. Was like listening to the Robin Hood soundtrack and the Hobbit soundtrack. That was like
that, like kind of like medieval, like you said,
Yeah.
like Arthurian, like.
Yeah, but
like
also just
feel.
like just acoustic singing kind of a thing. So that's kind of strange and some
No,
things
that's
I like on
awesome.
vinyl that I have.
Let's see. What's next for Steam Enginists? Like, what's the plan moving forward? You just released an album. A cool video. You've been playing shows.
Yeah.
Is it just maybe another album? Another EP
At some
or
point,
something?
I'm trying. I don't want to unless it's good enough.
It's ready.
And because I feel like the end of this album's a good ending, and I don't want to ruin that by putting out another album that's bad or not as good.
I appreciate you put thought into that. A lot
Yeah,
of
I'm not above jumping projects either. Like if I wanted to do something like, as much as I feel like this project can do anything, if I wanted to make something weirdly electronic, I'm just gonna do it under something
right
else.
on, man. We'll have you back on for Off the Record for your electronic
Yeah,
project.
don't hold your breath on that one. But I don't know. I'm trying to write a new album, but I don't know. It might take a long time. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. But it's more shows. We just did a live session that we filmed, and
Oh, really?
so that stuff's gonna be coming out.
Right on.
Full band
Where was
thing.
that? Where was that at?
We did it at Jamtown Studios in Philly.
Ooh, Jamtown. I haven't heard about them. I'll have
It's
to
a
check it out.
small studio my friend works at, and then.
Nice. Do they have a
my-
YouTube channel?
No.
Okay.
It's just like a proper recording studio.
Oh, right on. Let's check that out.
So we just played live in there and filmed it, and that's going to come out soon.
That's super cool.
Um,
Well, we're about to do quite the same thing. We're about to go throw you on stage and have a wonderful time
That's
here in the
fair.
performance. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm
This has been
excited.
super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking to me about Jeff Mangum for a
Oh,
little bit.
yeah.
Nobody ever wants to talk to me about Neutral Milk Hotel.
all day. I'll talk.
All day. I think it's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much. Check out In the Airplane Over the Sea. Please, that's my recommendation for this one. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
It comes through.
Thank you so much, man.
thank you guys for having us.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, after this one, we get to take the holidays off. Thank gosh,
Yeah.
you're wonderful.
Definitely got those.